I'm going up. I'm going up. Bork. I'm gonna bork. What's up, chat? Can you guys not hear the dog that's just like, I'm gonna bork in the background? He started to do like that exactly as I started to stream. He's probably gonna be doing that the entire fucking stream because dogs are like that. You're already 4 hours into drawing today? I mean, it's usually more than that. Today I started late because I kind of pulled a muscle while I was working out, so I was exhausted out after my exercise period and I took like a second nap, but when I'm in peak drawing form, I'm drawing from like 4 in the morning all the way until the streams, when the stream starts. I used to have difficulty maintaining the stamina that is required to keep on drawing, and as I forced myself to draw more, my stamina started to increase as well. So ultimately, I think everyone has a lot of concerns and like fears and uncertainties about drawing, but really the only way to overcome any of it is just drawing a lot of hours and just forcing yourself to draw more. That's really the only solution to any of these things. It's all just experience, including like your resilience and speed and stuff like that as well. Even with all the running and exercise, so it's not a matter of physical fitness. Are you talking about me when I said that I pulled a muscle or something? Because I did that while I was working out. I don't know if you're talking about drawing or what. I pulled a muscle while I was at Planet Fitness doing lifting exercises. It was pretty minor though, so I didn't really tear anything. But it was one of the muscles around my rib cage, so basically entirety of yesterday was really shitty because I had this weird rib cage pain and it was super hot. My productivity as a whole is just going to go up when it's not summer, because man, summer fucking sucks. Drawing, I wasn't here the past few days. You guys should pay me extra every time I share you one weird trick that will make you into a professional artist. I should start making my YouTube videos. Artists hate him. Go from a amateur to pro using this one weird trick. And in every single video, let's just be like, yeah, you have to draw for like 10,000 hours. How to draw anime books were so funny. Now instead of the anime books, we have our YouTubers, right? The YouTubers are like, oh my god, they'll draw a picture on bad purposefully as the before, and then also then draw like another picture that shows their after and be like, I tried drawing to get good in 40 days or some shit like that on their thumbnail. And then all the 10-year-olds who love anime are going to be like, I want to draw anime too, and everyone clicks on it. And this is like an entire industry of trying to convince kids that they can draw their favorite anime characters. Professional artists hate this one trick, 10,000 hours of practice. Yeah. I think when it comes to manga, there's a lot of professional mangaka that have got by without actually having the 10,000 hours of practice. You see, if you read of the manga from less popular manga authors, there's a lot of mangaka that have just like really shitty fundamentals and stuff like that that are still making it as professional artists, so you can get by without the 10,000 hours of practice more than you might think, I assume. Just be like PewDiePie 5-head. I will say this, if you want to draw a super cool anime and you just do floating anime heads, then you probably will, your skill level is going to be pretty hard capped. That's like every 13-year-old. It's like, I want to learn to draw, and then they draw anime heads, so. And of course PewDiePie is going to do the same. Most people don't draw for longer than 5 hours a week. Yeah, and they also stop drawing once they're in their 20s or whatever. It's just usually something that you do when you're in your teenage years because you think it's cool and you like anime or something. It's a phase, like a lot of things are. Like, you know, like being a lesbian in college, or liking dinosaurs, or using drugs. Well, that's not a phase. People who get hooked on heroin, they're probably going to keep on using heroin, but you know what I mean. I want to draw hands and fingernails. You better be. The only way to get better is to draw them. Don't hide the hands, guys. Don't run away from your destiny. You have to draw the hands at some point. Wanting to be an astronaut. I don't want to be an astronaut. I just want to fuck alien women. How can you draw hand jobs if you can't draw hands? Think about it logically. Well, the thing about hand jobs is that, see, part of the reason why hands is difficult is because the hands adjust to the objects that they're holding, or the posture of the character, or the person's emotional state. So it's a just like faces, or it's even more than faces. It's a combination of three-dimensional objects and the ability to understand emotional state and acting. It involves being able to do character emotional acting on the artist's part as well. So it's a combination of 3 or 4 different disciplines at the same time. And also stuff like gesture. So it's like, yeah, it's like 3 or 4 different disciplines. In some ways, feet are even harder because they often involve drawing the 3D space of the floor. They don't have as much variation in the shapes that they can take, but you have to be aware of the plane, the 3D plane, when you draw feet. So hands and feet are both very difficult. That's kind of why it ends up that way. Hey yo, me and my friend Kiss Tom are big fans of your art, thank you. I always appreciate people that come into the chat for the first time, and then I treat them like normal human beings instead of trying to emotionally abuse them like all the chat regulars. Mind-breaking beginners by telling them to draw hands in perspective facing the viewer, fingers extended, no fists. Yeah. On the other hand, As long as you haven't lost your arms in an accident, you have your own hands on your arms, so you can always look at your own hand and sort of get an idea of what it's doing. I use a combination of looking at my own hand and looking at reference photos online when I draw hands. You think someone can get away with drawing shoes instead of feet? I mean, they can, but you still have to be aware of the three-dimensional plane when you draw them on the ground, unless you're going to completely abbreviate the shape as a whole. I mean, if you're going like full manga artist, I remember like you can just go like this, right? I believe Tezuka would draw like feet like this, and that was that. You know, the Disney style, the classic, this shape. The Donald Duck foot. That makes it easier to draw. It gets more difficult when you have to start worrying about sexual appeal and stuff. And how the foot bends. It's made out of like one or two. Here's the heel portion. This triangle, it's like one triangle, two triangle. The trunk. And then the toes. And then the sole part. Then you have to worry about this kind of like three-dimensional, the curvature inside the three-dimensional space. This is the same as hands. It's like this kind of shape. You see that in the same with hands as well. The fingers kind of vortex into one. It's like this, into one point. That's sort of what you have to think about, is that these are tools for your body to grab objects. So the fingers are going to curl around naturally to create like a space in which to hold objects, you know? Oh, Tezuka's a hack? Kind of. Tezuka is living proof that you don't need to draw serious photorealistic bodies and lighting and stuff to do serious, realistic stories. Hey, anime artists, draw a head with perspective looking up from below. Good luck, you frauds. I can do it. This is how you draw the head looking up. You cut it off with the chin so you don't actually see the face. And then you have the boobs and then vagina down below. See, what you can't draw in anime is this part, the fucking nose holes. It's like the meme of what you see when she's giving you a blowjob and what she sees, and it's she's looking up your nose holes. The whole point of anime style is you only draw girls when they look their most cutest. And so from this angle, I should be able to see her nose holes, right? But I'm not going to draw them. I tried different variations in which I would just put a very minor nose hole in there, but I decided it wasn't worth it. Anime is all about cutting details and then eliminating aspects of the drawing that make the girls not look cute. That's wild. Ball drawing the just chatting category. There's a reason why in Instagram and everything, girls always take photos of themselves from like 20 degrees above. If you look at your face from this angle, the eyes are going to be closer to the camera, right? So the eyes are going to look bigger, just like anime. The nose is going to be this kind of shape. And then the chin is going to naturally kind of become a triangle. And that's just the power of perspective. This is why every girl is going to take their photo of themselves from up top. Woo woo, right? But in reality, without the power of this photography magic, if you look at them from below, it's gonna look like this. Maybe not that fat, but you know what I get. And you can just look up their nose. Ooh. This part underneath the chin, right here, and this part underneath the nose are in particular considered to be unattractive by our modern standards, which is why we have this photography in which we completely eliminate it from our photo shots. Men try to photograph themselves straight on or from below. Yeah, but they don't photograph it from this angle. They look down, so the face is like looking down straight on from you, but then the rest of the body is like this. This is meant to give a sense of like power and dominance and strength, like you're looking down on someone, like you're bigger than someone. It's a male camera angle. It doesn't really benefit the female Instagram thoughts in any way. Actually learning shit, yes. So if you want to become an Instagram thought femboy, this is how you do it. I'm providing you with excellent advice right here. Looks down on you, pathetic. Yeah. Exactly. If only we had that pigeon body type, that would be cool. Standing here, I realize, just like me. Who's to say who is right or wrong? But sometimes we also agree, but violence breeds violence. In the end, it must be that way. Voice of an angel. I have zero musical talent. I can't sing on key. I can't clap my hands to a beat. It's absolutely pathetic if we're going to keep our pathetic meme. So, if someone's like, why should I keep on drawing when I don't have artistic talent? I'm never going to get better. I can never be like one of those people who are like, that's just coping. Talent isn't real. You just need to try harder. It's like, well, talent is real. For example, Murata was better than I am at 40 when he was like 15 or so. So how can with a straight face I can say that talent isn't real? If someone told me that I can become a professional musician if I just keep on trying hard and believe in myself, I'd be like, no, that's not gonna happen. Tell them to give up so you don't have to compete. I mean, giving up is a part of life. You have a limited amount of time in your life, and you're gonna have to decide what you're gonna spend that time on. It's something that I think about a lot now that I'm approaching 40. Your resources are not infinite. If you spend 20,000 hours of your life trying to get out of silver rank in League, then those are 20,000 hours that you're not going to have to get good at something else, like, you know, being a acceptable human being, for example. So you have to ask yourself, what's really important to me? Is it important that I have the coolest, most complete character in Final Fantasy XI, or that I have skills that will pay me as a actual adult and have a job, you know? That applies to everything, including stuff like art. And if you don't have as much talent, it's going to take way longer to get good at something. No talent is real, chat. Let's not be delusional. Exactly. It's just like, it's kind of hard to say whether you're talented at art at an early stage because everyone's pretty shitty in the beginning, so it's kind of hard to be like, oh, I can't really tell. I think it's like much easier to tell if someone doesn't have talent in sports or something, right? If you want to be Usain Bolt, but you start off by running 100 meters at like a 30-second pace, you're probably never gonna be competing in the Olympics, so you probably should be putting your energy elsewhere. But because something like art is much more subjective, it's kind of harder for you to figure out whether you're hitting your goals and stuff as whether you're making it or not. He was a kid drawing characters for games, and a kid. Well, it's not really. That's sort of overblown. He was drawing characters for games in contests that were meant for children. So, it's not that weird. There used to be a lot of contests like that, like Ultimate Muscle, Kinnikuman. There was all these. The enemies were designed by readers, so there were a lot of kids who would think about their special evil superhero wrestler and stuff, and they would send in mail for that. So Murata sending his Rockman enemy designs to Capcom and having them accepted isn't that weird. What was weird is that Capcom didn't really have to do any editing of the design because it was already usable at a professional level. Does talent matter when some people sell black lines from jumping on a trampoline? Fine art. It does matter, except there the talent isn't the talent of producing art. It's the talent of self-marketing and convincing people that your art is... It's a salesman talent of marketing and networking, not artistic talent. But if you think you can just graduate from get into a fine arts academy, graduate from a fine arts academy, and then sell your modern art to Russian oligarchs who are trying to launder their money, if you think you can do it, go ahead and try, but I assure you that you won't be able to. Because you don't have the talent of either being born into those types of connections, but more likely producing something that is considered to be quote-unquote fine art. Everybody knows that the fine art world is bullshit. You know the whole history, holy shit. Well, Murata is worshipped on YouTube, so there's all sorts of like being like, oh, Murata was crazy even as a kid, shorts and stuff like that. I sort of knew that story to begin with, because I had been reading Murata's stuff from Eyeshield 21, the earliest stages. So I think he wrote about that in the back pages of Eyeshield 21 at some point, but I can't really remember. There's actually a lot of Jump authors who sent in fan art as a kid that went on to become pros. Like Yabuki of Toravuru and stuff, I believe, was sending in those like letters and shit like that. It's funny because it becomes like a public record of them. But you know, kids who like want to become pro mangaka are usually drawing from a kid, so. That's a good way to get killed in Russia. Don't do that. What, being an oligarch? Thanks for that advice. That's right, chat. Don't become a Russian billionaire oligarch for your own safety. I'm warning you. Yusuke Murata surprised me when he showed that he could animate as good as he illustrates. Yeah, and he does that shit in his spare time. He's just like, today I will create an animation. So, yeah, talent is real. Don't tell kids that talent isn't real. That's irresponsible. You don't have to be Murata to make a living, though, so don't worry about being number one. Someone is better than me. I'm giving up. Here, let me show you something that will make you feel better about your possibility of becoming a professional jump artist. This is images of the manga Totemo Lucky Man, one of my favorite jump manga that nobody actually cares about. The character looks like this. Even you can draw this. Everybody in chat can draw Lucky Man if you want to. It basically looks like children's doodles at best. The guy can barely draw a human body. It got 16 volumes. It's really good, by the way. That looks pretty cool. It was a somewhat famous manga when I was growing up in the 90s. I'd say somewhat. I don't think it's been translated. It has a lot of puns and stuff. The story better be really interesting if the art looks like that, LOL. It's said but has never been officially confirmed that the artist that was drawing that is the guy who wrote Death Note and Bakuman after that. So that sort of tells you what you need to know. Obviously they weren't allowed to use the same pen name because it would be too silly for the guy who was drawing his superhero doodles to his next story to be about like the god of death and shit. What happened to the Death Note guys? I don't think, well, Obata is still illustrating a different manga. I think that guy who was doing the original script, I don't think he's made anything after Bakuman. LOL, what? It's not confirmed, but there's a lot of evidence that strongly suggests that's him. So after Death Note, the writer of Death Note went on to make Bakuman, a manga about being a mangaka, and in Bakuman appears a old, or I think he commits suicide or something. There's like the uncle of the main character is an old ex-mangaka who wrote a comedy superhero thing and was a huge loser and stuff like that. And everyone's like, yo, this has got to be like a self-depreciating joke about himself, right? And there's a bunch of other stuff that suggests that it might be him. Yeah, the uncle of the main character. And the Death Note author kind of showed up out of nowhere as well. It seemed, Death Note, even from the beginning, seemed a little too high quality to be like a new person. So people were wondering if maybe it was somebody they knew who had changed their name from the beginning. And after a while, various pieces of evidence started to come up and it's be like, yeah, it's gotta be that guy. I'm finding pictures of Murata's 10-year-old daughter and her level is like PewDiePie after his recent art video. It's important to remember that whatever PewDiePie posted is probably him at his best, so he's probably significantly worse than that, but whatever. Search for Yusuke Murata child drawing. Yes, make sure you don't search for child. Drawings of children. Sexy children drawings. High quality, high definition child drawing. I have to look for reference images for like when I draw the younger age ranges of the characters, because there's like childhood flashbacks. I'm like, shit, I need a reference image of a 10-year-old. please, Google-san, don't give me child porn when I type in 10-year-old reference image, 10-year-old kid or something. FBI-san, please don't monitor me. I'm only looking for images of fully clothed kids. I don't want to see the CP. Talent isn't always passed down the family. 50% of the time it doesn't. Yes and no. Some of it's passed down, some of it isn't. It doesn't really matter. For drawing talent, experience is way more important than talent, so it's way more important to have like physical talent, DNA genes if you want to be like a professional sports player, because the time period in which you can be active is way shorter. But in the case of drawing and stuff, you have a lot more time. So you can just build up experience and stuff instead. In the case of art, you can take your time. If it's sports, you could better be good immediately. All that matters is where you end up by the time you're near the middle of your life. Your potential should be showing itself by then. I think it was Confucius who said something that, like, now that when a man approaches 40 is when you start to feel like you've found your path in life and feel confident in your choices and stuff like that. So, and this was a time when the lifespans were much shorter. Honestly, men are going to be shitheads until they're about 40 anyways, so... If you haven't made horrible mistakes like marrying that woman that you had sex with once during a one-night stand and having kids and starting a family and stuff like that, if you haven't done anything that you were going to end up regretting for the rest of your life, then you're going to be fine. People that do shit in physics at age 11, stem cell math stuff is like a different thing. If you want to be like a great mathematician, you better get that shit done fast, because you're probably not going to be discovering anything new when you're 60 or anything like that. There are stuff that are reflex and like certain brain chemistry or muscle related that where you have to get shit done at an early age. Math, science, gaming, that type of shit. But art isn't one of them, so... If you've actually been doing the thing you want to get good at for 30, 40 years, then you should know whether or not you're good at it by that point. Exactly. Unless you're one of those wannabe actors and you can just like keep on telling yourself that I'm gonna make it, I just need someone to give me a shot. Like John Hamm or something. Just be a waiter in Hollywood for 30 years. Sending people your mixtapes. If you aren't willing to put in the time, try any significant amount of time you'll never find out to begin with. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, right? I was already making money doing commissions and stuff, and I'm making less money by drawing this manga. But, you know, I have to put in the time to make sure that I know whether I could have made it or not. Is that ever really worked, working as a waitress or waiter in Hollywood, hoping someone will pick up your mixtape or screenplay? John Hamm is the most recent person that got picked up from being a waiter at an older age and finally making it. I'm sure there's a few other people. I know I don't want to work in an office for the rest of my life. Even if that kind of work is better than a shitty factory or warehouse. I don't know. Depending on the factory or warehouse versus office, I might rather work in a factory or warehouse than an office. Although I haven't worked in a factory or warehouse, so I wouldn't really know. Either way, it's a very small percentage of people in this modern capitalist society that gets to do any kind of work that they feel is meaningful or rewarding. So if you have a job that you find meaningful or rewarding, you should appreciate it and be glad that you got it, because most people's job is like pressing the red button and then pressing the blue button and then pressing the red button and then pressing the blue button for 12 hours. You an aggressive nutter? You asking me whether I'm an aggressive nutter or not? I mean, you've been in this chat long enough that you should know the answer to that already. I've worked as a low-level janitor at an elementary school, at a warehouse, and at a factory in that order. Hey, if you keep on working as a janitor, you can become the character in the sitcom or the child drama that offers sage words of advice when the main character is having like a personal crisis. Well, maybe you have to be black to do that. I'm not sure if they allow white janitors to be wise in the current day and age, but yeah. Or if it's a hentai, you can be the ugly bastard janitor that has the hypnosis app on his cell phone. And it's like, Ojo-sama, please look at my phone screen. Huh? When they show the hypnosis app to people in the hentai, they always look at the hypnosis app, don't they? There's never any situation in which the person doesn't stare at the hypnosis app. He's asking if you jerk it so hard you rip the skin. My daddy taught me how to not rip the skin, so... Why would you make a hypnosis app if you have the technology to make hypnosis that works? That's incredible technology. Not everything in a story needs to be explained. It's foolish to think that it's being created just by a normal human being. It's probably being made by aliens or a demon or the Illuminati or something with the purpose of collecting human souls or increasing the level of sin energy on Earth or some shit like that. Anyways, what's important is that you use your hypnosis app to commit lewd sexual acts, not to question how the technology works or why it's been provided to you. It's either a hypnosis app blackmail or they have a huge dick. I do like the pattern in which the janitor whips out his cock and the Japanese high school girl Ojo-sama is like, just the smell of the smegma is turning me on. I can feel myself ovulating. It's just the power of the cock. No hypnosis required. It's provided to you by a yokai kitsune goddess that you can trick into getting hypnotized in the last chapter. My favorite meme or plot point is the very sexy hot female in the hentai who is providing you with the illicit means in which to control or fuck other women. For some reason thinks that she's not going to be targeted by you. That she's not going to be a target of your desire. I like female characters that sort of count them out of the whole you're about to get fucked category and then are shocked when you're like, what? You can't use the hypnosis app on me. That stuff. It gets me every time. It's fucking hilarious and exciting. Trope? Yeah, trope is the right word, I guess. That's rare plot point, isn't it? It's not that rare. I feel like if you're producing an eroge or a manga, every single female who appears needs to get fucked. You should never have like a female character that's there in the hentai manga that doesn't get a sex scene. And when that happens in stuff, especially like eroge, it used to happen way more often. It was extremely frustrating and discouraging. But I feel like it's less common nowadays. Most of the time, the girls that are aiding the Coomer will be into it. They're basically just a side piece a lot of the time. It's two patterns. One pattern is like C2 and Lelouch Code Geass, where you're both on the same boat. You're part of the same team. The person who provides you with the opportunity to begin the story is also your biggest ally. And the other is, it's like the most common version of this is you have a sexy senpai who creates a love potion, and she provides it to you so you can, mind rape all the other girls in the school because she wants you to test it out. And then you're like, oh, senpai, I gave it to you. You were drinking it in your coffee for the last 20 minutes. And she's like, what? How can that be? How could you be attracted to me? I'm just a big titty glasses girl in a tight sweater. Are you crazy? Which is always funny. Dude, I felt robbed when Thief only got fellatio scene in Rant's Dog Come On. Yeah, when it happens in your hentai games, It was much more common in the early 2000s where you would get a hentai game and there would be a girl and you wouldn't get the sufficient amount of sex scenes. And I think they've solved a lot of that, but every once in a while you would just be like, wait, what the fuck? That's all we get? That's all you're gonna give us? I can't believe this shit. I would always be extremely unhappy. It's a fucking scam. Why is CC always spelled CC but pronounced C2? I don't know. They're Japanese. I like saying CC, but they call her C2. Stupid fat ass green haired pizza eating neat, unemployed neat with her big fat butt that she gets bigger and bigger as she continues to eat Pizza Hut. I wish C2 had a fat ass. They're trying to trick you into thinking she has a fat ass because Japanese standards for ass are very low. You can have a flat ass in Japan. It will be considered to be a big fat ass instead of a flat ass because everybody tends to have much less fat content than in America. They also make it appear to be larger by putting the camera really close to her ass, but it's actually not as big as you might think. Hurry up and make a sequel to Automata that isn't a fucking mobile game that gets discontinued, Yoko Taro. Man, I don't really care about any of the Nier games. I never thought... I don't like Suda51 and I don't like Yoko Taro. I like much more traditional narratives in fiction. So I don't like depressing shit and I don't like shit that forces you to replay the game multiple times. And I don't want weird counterculture, cult classic shit. It might be better if it's something like Rocky Horror Picture Show and I'm only going to be watching it for 2 hours, but I don't want to fucking play an entire video game by Suda51 where I can't even tell what's going on because the color palette is so fucked up. You can't say you like chubby girls anymore if you don't have a big beautiful woman. People will get angry at you for not having a fat fetish for 250-pound women. I just say I don't like women at all. Only big, strong, muscular men. Am I right, fellow gay chads? This will keep the woman away. It might cause some other problems, but we're not going to worry about that at the moment. What about Swery65? Wait, was that Grasshopper Productions? I can't remember. What did he make? I think I'm pretty sure I played some Swery65 shit. Hold on. I'm supposed to be using Swery... Reject women, return to the gay. I'm pretty sure we don't return to the gay. Oh yeah, Deadly Premonition and stuff. I didn't play any Deadly Premonition now that I think about it. And D4 was on Xbox, right? I don't know, man. I didn't play any of his shit. I'm trying to think of what cult video game maker, if there are any that I actually like. I know, Kojima. Kojima is my favorite cult classic video game maker. You probably haven't heard of him. Some say that Hideo does it better, but I like Kojima's stuff. He's a small indie movie filmmaker slash video game designer. D4 was on PC later. Really, really neat game. I wish D4 didn't get canceled. Wasn't D4 released in like episodic format and then it was never finished? Is that what happened? It was announced at the initial stages of Xbox One, right? When they were trying to do like TV as video games or video games as TV. You had that whole Remedy TV show video game that's in the same world as Control. I forgot what it was called. Quantum Break, I believe. I don't know. There was a very weird period in Xbox One history where besides the whole, you know, cringiness of them trying to sell you a always-on machine, they're also trying to do some sort of multimedia mix stuff, where it's like now you don't have to play your video games. Instead, you're going to watch them, or it's going to be episodic like a TV series or some shit. Quantum Break was one of those TV show video games. I've seen streamers play it. It's similar to Control or Max Payne and stuff, in that it's a third-person shooter, and you go through industrial environments and you use your powers and slow down time and do stuff to blow shit up. But it was different in that it was being sold as episodic. Like it was being given to you piecemeal instead of as one video game. Ultimately, the format never caught on because it's kind of a shitty way to play video games. There isn't any real benefit in cutting up a video game like a TV show. Kojima is not allowed into Hollywood for not wanting to diddle children. You'd think that they'd give him an honorary Hollywood pass because he strongly suggests... It's strongly suggested that he was trying to fuck all of the actresses that were in Metal Gear Solid 5 and stuff like that. He feels like he's fully in the Harvey Weinstein zone when you see the way he's like just grabbing the asses of the actresses that worked for him at Comic-Con and shit, but he's too charismatic. The women just inherently want to have sex with him, so no one actually likes waiting a week between episodes. No idea why they thought people would want to do the same with video games. To be fair, we've given developers the wrong idea by letting them just step all over cock and balls by cutting up video games into piecemeal and selling them as DLC. Selling a video game as an episodic TV show isn't that different from the situation we already have, where first they release the video game in alpha or beta, and then you play 30 hours during that time, and then your save data gets reset, and then they finally release the full game, and then you play that for 10 hours instead of the 30 hours of the beta, because you realize that you're kind of already bored with the formula, and also it's full of bugs because it was released too early, and then you stop playing it for 6 months, and then you come back to it after it's been patched like 6 times, and everyone on the internet is claiming that everything's fixed now, and everything isn't fixed, but it's been fixed enough that you enjoy it. And then when you're done playing it, then they release their next DLC, and everyone's like, now you have to start a new character, and so on and so on. As someone who grew up in the 90s where, you know, you got a complete game and it had to be complete, it's a far cry from then. Doesn't Kojima have like a massive pregnant belly right now? I remember there was a magazine image of him where it looked like he was heavy with child. He looked like he was 8 months into male pregnancy. Perhaps he was doing research for his next video game. His next Strand type video game. Kojima Hideo magazine fat. They're not showing the more recent ones. I only saw it once on a V thread, but I swear, just the way he was getting fat, it looked like he was just full male preg. I should have saved the photos. Ball, what is a character that you like in comics, not in mans, but in comics? What the fuck? And I mean, love him so much that you so respectful to this character. Holy ESL. I don't know. Batman. Because he embraces the darkness inside him, just like me. He's just like me for real, for real. I miss the days of expansion packs. I mean, the most recent Elden Ring DLC is big enough that you could definitely call it an expansion pack. I would call it an expansion pack. I mean, it better be large enough to be considered an expansion pack, considering how much money they're charging for it and how much time it took. Meanwhile, Overwatch 2, they didn't do anything for like, what was it, 2 or 3 years. And when they finally released Overwatch 2, it was less than an expansion pack. So, you know, Blizzard, LMAO. Curse you, Baal! Baal! Curse you, Baal! Here I stand! Knees shivering, yet I am here! Baal! They're trying to make Overwatch 1 again? I know. I heard that they're changing the tank meta back or something. Weren't they saying they're going back to 6-player teams or something like that? I can't remember. I'm not following Overwatch. It's not really worth my time, even if I just want to laugh at it. It's gotten to the point where Overwatch is so pathetic that I don't even tune in to just make fun of it. It's completely off my radar. I feel so sad for people who actually are still playing Overwatch in the year 2024. It's like looking at a battered woman who keeps on apologizing for her domestic abuse husband, being like, no, Blizzard didn't mean it. Trust me. They promised me that they wouldn't beat the shit out of me next time. I only tripped on the stairs. I'm so clumsy, teehee. Overwatch would recover 5% of the player base if they stopped locking everything behind a purchase and brought back loot boxes like before. Isn't it all just season pass now? Or some shit? I don't know. I don't care. I don't understand the point of having skins in a game where it's first person to begin with. That was one of the things that I was always just like, who cares about your skin? You can't see it. It's so you can goon to the divas and mercies running around, I guess. But it's not like First Descendant where there's a hub and people leave their characters in their bunny girl outfits just standing around. I mean, you don't see the characters unless you're in a game, right? When you're actually playing a game, you don't have enough time to jack off. Loot boxes are also cancer. The best scenario would be Overwatch just stopping existing altogether. I mean, loot boxes are more cancer than anything else. They're an entire mechanic based on taking advantage of all the people who have addictive personalities that can't control their own spending and stuff. It would be like if Alcoholics Anonymous had their meetings in a specific location and the alcohol companies were allowed to just like hang out outside the Alcoholic Anonymous meeting and give the recovering alcoholics an opportunity to buy more beer. It's like we know that they're preying on people who can't control their brain chemistry. It's just that it's a newer industry, so politicians don't understand that it's an extremely predatory practice. And they just let them do that shit. Who are your top 3 hentai manga artists? Fan no Hitori is gonna be up there. I don't know. Pija, maybe? I don't like Pija's. There's a lot of hentai artists where I like their artistic abilities, but they have a different fetish from me, and as a result I can't jack off to their stuff. And I collect the images of their hentai just as like reference material, but not as actual jack off material. Some of them are way dark. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like pubic hair and stuff. Where they're like, whoa, smelly mess of pubes. That's so hot. I'm like, is it though? Or, you know, the F word that shall not be named. There is an artist called Mikoyan who has done artwork for Taimanin Asagi and stuff. And during this Comic-Con, he's releasing his 3rd chapter of a doujin in which dark elves, drow dark elves with big futa cock and balls get raped by female ogres and are forced to inseminate the large muscular female ogres And I'm just like, this is so close to what I want from my porn, and yet it's so far. God damn it. Fuck you, Miko-yan. This is like the ultimate monkey's paw of what I want from my hentai, and yet, yeah, it's like, it's so close to what I want, and yet it's so far. There's 2 F words that you're not allowed to type in chat. Regulars of these streams know what they are, but I'll say them. Say the forbidden words right here. It's futa and foot. This thing. The 2 most insufferable of fan bases. If we weren't allowed to say them, why are you drawing them? Because it's super annoying when people show up in stream and are like, haha, wouldn't it be silly if she wasn't wearing any shoes and you could see her feet? That would be so funny, haha. I don't actually have a foot fetish. I'm just being ironic. My post is masked in layers and layers of irony. There's no way I'm 100% being honest about my desire to see feet. Haha, but unless... maybe you should draw her feet. It's just like, shut the fuck up. You're not fooling anybody, you fucking foot fetishists. You don't think people noticed that shit in 2024, Tarantino? You had that actress stick her feet on the dashboard for a solid 15 minutes in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think it's pretty obvious. It's post ironic. They're just wrapping themselves in layers and layers of irony and pretending like they're making a joke or not, or they're in on a joke. But at the end of the day, they want to see feet. That is the 100% truth, is that they want to see more feet. And they're trying to convince you to draw feet. Why do people like feet? Apparently there's something about the way the brain chemistry is wired that makes the foot fetish the most common of all fetishes by far. Apparently, there's something in, like, the brain's neurological pathways in which the brain's ability to recognize sexual parts and the brain's ability to recognize feet is similar or some shit like that. I don't know. But it is by far the most common fetish. So you're not special foot fuckers. In fact, you're the most common version. Yeah, but what about armpits? The pit fuckers aren't as aggressive. Also, I think there's a lot of people who like armpits that aren't, like, fetishist about it. They're just more normal people that also like armpits. I don't know. I've never been asked to draw armpits, whereas I've been constantly asked to take off the character's shoes. I once drew a joke drawing of Juri, the Street Fighter character who's famous for being a foot fetish character, except I draw her wearing sneakers. And some psycho randomly appeared in the next stream to complain about it. And people thought he was joking to begin with, but he actually had showed up in stream because he was so upset that I had drawn Juri wearing shoes. It was fucking hilarious. He actually showed up in stream and was like, fuck you, man. Why would you do that? The lack of self-awareness is stunning. Llama something, that's right, and he never came back after that. Jury is 5'2". The actual numbers in Street Fighter really don't matter or hold up. Especially stuff like weight. I think... Isn't Ryu initially listed at like 150 pounds or some shit like that? I don't know. The numbers that Street Fighter present as official numbers are usually like completely unrelated to the body type and how much the person would weigh in real life. So do people get mad if you draw Ryu with shoes? I've never done that, but I assume there might be one or two gay foot coomers who would be unhappy. But Ryu's character doesn't revolve around him not wearing shoes like Juri's does. It's part of Juri's identity that she's not wearing shoes, so... Cody was 5'10 in Street Fighter 4, then he was 6'2 in Street Fighter 5. Yeah. They change that shit all the time. Did your mom have an opinion on Biden dropping out after she got home? I mean, she was fully within the camp of like, Jesus Christ, get this guy out of here. He's too old. You know, like 70% of Americans were thinking. So she felt relieved. She's more of a person who gets off on hating Trump than liking Biden or Harris or anything. Same for me, by the way. I would vote for anybody as long as it isn't Trump, so... To be fair, it would be like drawing Chun-Li without massive juicy thighs. If you're comparing Chun-Li's thighs to Juri having exposed feet, I'd like to point out that wearing shoes is a temporary condition, whereas your thigh thickness does not dramatically change at different times of the day. You don't like shave off several inches of your thighs if you want to try out a different outfit or something like that. I know the foot fuckers don't understand this, but wearing shoes or not wearing shoes is a temporary condition, you know. I have other pages that I could start working on, but honestly, I don't feel like it because I am sleepy. Let's do some Guess the Game. I'm losing my focus, so... Eventually we will catch up with Guess the Game. Here we go. This is today's Guess the Game. The latest game. I can't tell if this is old or new. Is it possible that this is NES? I mean, Mega Man is what it feels like, but I feel like that would be... It's too straightforward. I was just wondering if it's one of those indie games where they use colors on purpose to make it look like a NES game. It's not Mega Man, is it? Let's try Mega Man. Is it 2 words? It is 2 words. Let's try Mega Man 2. Yeah, it's X, which means it's not part of the Mega Man franchise. Original release too old for Metacritic. Huh. So it probably is an NES game. Final Fight. This is probably pretty iconic pixel graphics. But there's a shit ton of old games that have this kind of like drops and holes and shit like that. Darkwing Duck. I don't know, man. NES games I'm pretty weak on. I wasn't allowed to play video games back in the day, so... Shall I try Darkwing Duck? This is gonna be a hard one. Unless people have actually played it. Oh, is this River City Ransom, right? Probably. This body type. Or was it Double Dragon as well? Yeah, I think it's River City Ransom, right? I can't remember what other ones. Yeah, it's Kunio, but the English is going to be River City Ransom. There we go. Yeah. Once you see the body type, it's not that hard. Double Dragon has the Street Fighter proportions. I like Kunio-kun on arcade. Nick Getsu something Kunio-kun. Ora ora! Nanda teme! Nani o mite yagaru? That hairstyle. 1989. Nameten no ka kora! Ah? Fuzaken janezo! Oi! Ah? Punch, 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 punch. Feels good, man. And now, of course, in the modern day and age, we have to remake it with cute girls, cute anime girls. It's the only way to do it. Motel. This feels like Alan Wake, but I don't think it is. Oh, is this Walking Dead? Okay. I haven't played any Walking Dead shit. Is this Telltale Walking Dead? Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. Easy. Is this a pretty famous landmark of the game? I guess when you see this shot, it becomes more obvious when you can see the graphic style, but... Oh, I think I've seen this shot before. Isn't half of the point of Walking Dead being like, Clementine is my daughter, Rue? I will never, ever let her go. 2012. It's been a while, hasn't it? Next. And then he dies. Huh. This feels pretty iconic texture, but I can't immediately think of this. This feels like Skyward Sword, almost. I think this is a Wii game. Apex? No, the texture is too muddy. I immediately thought Zelda Skyward Sword is what I felt. I feel like it's a Wii game. It might not be Zelda. PC gamers will look at this and say, damn, these graphics are fire. Average PC gamer has just like something way weaker than a Wii, of course, so I'm gonna go with Skyward Sword. I don't know why. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. No. 88% when it first came out. Is this Hearthstone? What the fuck is this thing? This must be like a really iconic part of the screen. It's Hearthstone? Okay. Yeah, I thought it was Hearthstone with this this color scheme. One of the reasons why I don't like Blizzard is I don't like their color choices. Is this where your hit points goes and it explodes once you lose or something? It makes sense why they had to make the first shot so extremely obtuse because, you know, people have been looking at the screen for like 10 million hours playing it. So if they put even this much detail in it, people are just gonna immediately recognize. Fuck Blizzard. I thought their color in StarCraft 2 was really good. Yeah, StarCraft is one of the few exceptions in which I like their color scheme. Everything else, Warcraft, World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, I always find their colors to be too vibrant, too saturated, like this shit. I have never liked their color choices. I mean, look at the colors, man. It just does not sit well with me. I don't know why I dislike it so much, but it always bugs me. Was StarCraft 2 the last good Blizzard game? I mean, wasn't initial stage of Overwatch at least... That came after StarCraft 2, right? Overwatch came after StarCraft 2. I mean, wasn't initial Overwatch at least in the good category? Maybe not great. What about Diablo 2 or Diablo Immortal? Your cell phone game. I had to play through Diablo 3 with a reshade. It looks so awful. Diablo 3 is truly I understand why people complain so much after playing Diablo 2. The color palette for something like a gothic demon murdering fantasy is just feels wrong. Okay, indie platform. Is this gonna be like Katana Zero or something like that? Anybody have a guess? Streets of Rage 4? I don't think this is Streets of Rage 4. I've been playing Streets of Rage recently. Is it? Man, I guess I haven't been looking at it. I've been actually getting my ass kicked by Streets of Rage 4. I haven't been able to complete it. Yeah, okay, I would have guessed this at this point. But I'm stuck on the final stage. Even when I start making it way easier, I'm still getting my ass kicked. Obviously, I refuse to play any character besides Blaze because I want to look at her tits and ass and panties and stuff, so... I feel like the other characters are easier to play, like this guy. I like how the final boss is a girl who just shows you her thighs. I mean... She's also kicking my ass. Blaze's breeding facility material, for sure. That woman was built to, break your neck by crushing it between her thighs and also bear my children. Then just play Street Rage 3 Blaze. I don't think I've unlocked her because I haven't beat the game yet. Next. Is this some Mario? Obviously this is going to be a super iconic game because if they show any more, then you're going to be able to guess this immediately. It's one of those... Oh, you're right. Of course it's Punch-Out. Good guess, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. It's Super Punch-Out, right? Was there a Super on it? Wasn't it Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? I think this is the original one. Yeah, there we go. It has. You have to put Mike's name in there. I've never played Punch-Out, by the way. I didn't have an NES. Fight! Goddamn, he is truly tiny. There's a guy at the Planet Fitness who's probably shorter than 5 feet tall. And when he does the pull-down exercise to attach the bar to the pull-down machine, he has to get up on the seat, to stand up on the seat to reach the bar attachment area. It's really sad. I'm really glad that I'm not short guy. Being a short male must be hell on earth. Next. I don't know. Microsoft's Flight Simulator. What other situation in which would you have this tire in the air? I mean, that's my first guess, Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't understand what else they would be doing. Let's just try Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, I guess. I mean, I think they could have chosen a better photo. Or Ace Combat. I mean, it's not a fighter jet plane though, right here, by looking at the type of wheel. It also has like a different kind of filter on the graphics. I guess it is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Is Ace Combat melodramatic? Yes, it is. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. Indie game I have not played, but I feel like I've seen it before. I definitely feel like I've seen this graphics before. It's pretty recognizable, but I have not played it. Spiritfarer sounds about right. Yep. The graphic style is pretty distinct. So if you actually played the game, I wouldn't be surprised that you'd be able to one-shot it. 84%. I don't play many indie games. That's a nice turtle. Tanuki. Management simulation action platformer. I mean, talk about like every indie nowadays. What if we had a 2D Metrovania platformer, deck builder RNG management simulation with tear-jerking story as well, with a distinct, colorful art style in which the wholesome frog hugs you. Super cutesy, but it fucking gutted me. I'm worried that when I actually do play games like this that are supposed to get the tear jerking to go, and I don't feel anything, I'm gonna get depressed because I'm gonna be forced to look at my complete lack of empathy. Oh yeah, get a button to pet the dog, of course. Wholesome Chungus. Hey, they're just adding stuff that people like. Alright, next game. This looks like shit. Who the fuck would be able to identify from this shot? There's nothing here. I can't even tell what I'm looking at. Some foliage? Is that a tree? I would guess like Turok Seeds of Evil, except you're playing it on minimum settings on a shittier version of your N64. I have no idea what the fuck this is. This is ridiculous. This makes me think that it might be a super famous game that they can't show very much of the screen because it would be too obvious. What the fuck? It does look like a 64 game. Whatever, I'm just gonna put in Turok. Turok. Dinosaur Hunter. We need more Turok games. What the fuck? Oh, is this, Tearaway? It looks like paper. Isn't this Tearaway? I haven't played it. Is it possible? What would it be besides Tearaway? I mean, it definitely looks like paper, though. No. Okay, it's like some weird PC collage game, so I have no idea. 75%. Yeah, Tearaway would have a better score than that. Ugh. Any PC gamers who play indie slop with extremely distinctive papier-mâché art styles. What's that Boulder game? What, Rock of Ages? We guessed that recently. Hentai Hospital 3. Here, let me, here we go. Night Shift Nurses. Strange, no results found. Okay, let's try, Bible Black. Huh, I don't understand. Why aren't they including these, infamous games? Sengoku Dance. No, they don't have Sengoku Dance in this. This is gamer gatekeeping, and yet it moves. Jesus. Did you actually play that? Did you just cheat Final Ultra Spark? Who the fuck has actually played this goddamn game? How did you guess that shit? I've never seen this. No, I cheat. Please don't cheat. I have never heard or seen of this game. It looks like shit, and it probably plays like shit, too. Guess the game is really biased against Japanese anime games, by the way. You will rarely get anything like, you know, Raiza's Atelier or some shit like that, or Senran Kagura Bikini Beach Burst or some shit like that. I've never seen or heard of this game. It looks awful. What the fuck? Windmill? It's a windmill. I can't even guess what console generation this might be. Eco? I don't know. It's not Skyrim. Skyrim has slightly better graphics than this. Slightly. Whenever I see a windmill, I'm like, is it Eco? Some PS2 era thing? It feels more like, yeah, it looks 360. I think 360 is the right generation. It's not Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask has worse graphics than this. I don't know. I think it's past PS2. Eco is more washed than this. Yeah, it definitely is. It's not Twilight Princess. I recently guessed Twilight Princess. I first shot Twilight Princess. Ass Creed, Fable. I kind of like the Fable guess, honestly. I feel like Fable had this kind of lighting. Let's try Fable. It might be like Fable 2. There's no repeat games. There might be repeat games, but we're still earlier in the we're at 373. They might start repeating after this, but it's pretty rare. It's safer to assume that it's not a repeat game than it is. Not Fable. 91%. What the fuck? Huh. Huh. It's not from the Fable franchise. Dragon's Age? I don't think this is Dragon's Age. Looks like Mage Tower to me. Mage Tower 91%? That seems really high. I feel like if it's 91%, it would be a game that most of us have heard of. On the other hand, I don't know Mage Tower at all, so... Orcs Must Die? I don't think Orcs Must Die has 91%. That's like infamous game that most people would know here. It's the Windmill. Oh, Mage Tower and Dragon's Age? I don't think it's Dragon's Age. Although the score seems like a Dragon's Age. I don't know, it might be Dragon's Age. We can try Dragon's Age, I guess. I felt like Dragon's Age had better graphics than this. Oh yeah, you're right. Huh. In my mind, Dragon's Age looked better than this, but it looks like shit in year 2024. I guess my mind is remembering it in a more appealing way. Damn, it really does look bad. This really was the period of like Brown and Bloom, wasn't it? We really fondly remember Dragon's Age 1 because it was before BioWare became a steaming mass of liberal horse shit and they could still make fun games, but it wasn't a particularly good looking game, that's for sure. At least we still got succubus titties back then. It only looks slightly better than Neverwinter Nights. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to describe it. People only remember Dragon's Age because of Morgana. There's so few Western RPG proper tsundere waifus that you just give people one tsundere waifu and they'll just remember her forever. Dragon Age was the first game I ever modded nude titty into Good Times. I think I left Sven to die. He was like, let me out, and I was like, nah, that's okay, goodbye. Okay, we have some serious bloom going on here. Holy Giga Bloom. What the fuck? It looks both fantasy and modern age architecture. Uncharted is a good guess. This looks like something you might be able to climb on, but I feel like it would have better graphics than this. It's not Shadow of the Colossus. I guessed that pretty recently. It definitely looks like Eco. A lot of things start to look like Eco once you start to think Eco. I've probably guessed Eco and Twilight Princess like 12 times by now. Just because of when you see like Bloom, you're like, is that Eco? You could try Eco. Devil May Cry 1? I don't think so. I don't think Devil May Cry was ever this bright. We have some real jaggies though, so I think the PlayStation 2 guess is like a pretty good guess. There's a lot of PS3 games that look like this, but they don't have that level of jaggies, so we can try Eco. Good guess. Fine. It was finally Eco. I've been saying Eco every single time, and then it was never Eco, but now it finally is Eco. Yeah, here we go. This looks, yeah. This, the grayish bloom. Yeah, this is pretty obvious right here. Yeah, that game had shit tons of bloom. I didn't actually finish it. I borrowed it, and I was planning to finish it in a weekend, and I got bored of it before actually finishing it. Here's another way to have your game be called a masterpiece. Just have a beautiful princess that you're gonna carry her hand. As long as you get to hold the hand of a girl, people are just like, oh, gotta save the girl. Yeah. I don't know what Anita Sarkeesian says. As a man, it's in our instincts to hold the hand of the girl. I like the Big Bird Dog one more. I haven't played Last Guardian, even though I have it available to me on my PlayStation. I should play it at some point. Everyone likes Shadow of the Colossus. Not everyone likes Eco or Last Guardian. That's the way it works. Limbo? Limbo, anyone? Anyone can think of anything besides Limbo? 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 Limbo. Yep. Limbo. Limbo. That was easy. I mean, there's really not much they can do to make it look like anything else, right? It's pretty obvious. LMAO gets stepped on. I played about 20 minutes of Limbo before I was like, I've lost interest. Whoa, small child being in gruesome ways. Whoa, so good. Make a whole genre out of it. I know, right? It's so deep and it really makes you think. I wonder what a metaphor it is for. There's like a bunch of games that look like Limbo. True. Braid. What's the game they made after Limbo? Little Nightmares, I think. Oh, is this Lemmings? Oh, you're right. I guess it is Lemmings. Shit. I completely forgot about the existence of Lemmings. There's so many Lemmings games. Yeah, this is the stairs that they build, right? Oh, that's a good guess. I completely forgot that it existed. Lemmings was on, like, my friend's computer or something back in the day. Yeah. The stairs are pretty iconic. Never played it. It was a big game back in the day. It was on a lot of people's computers. It's a game where you really enjoy death. The endless death of these little walking creatures as they mindlessly walk to their doom. Lemmings was huge back then. Yeah, only Zoomers and older will understand how so many people had Lemmings on their computer in 1991. Death. 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 No! And everyone's dying. No! Did you ever play Zoombinis? No. I didn't have a gaming computer, so I would go to other people's houses and they would have like Jeopardy, Lemmings, and Diablo 2 on their compact Windows 95 PC and stuff like that, and we would play that. It truly was a time in which you had completely different games on console from PC. So if you had a Genesis, you were playing something completely different from what you were playing on your PC. It was a better time now that you think about it. It kind of sucks how everything's on everything now. I know I'm sounding like a giga boomer when I say that shit, but I don't know. There was more creativity. Spider-Man? This looks like New York City. Welcome to New York City. Is this Avengers Tower? Consoles had Lemmings? You're right. I think it did. Hitman? I remember the tower. You think this is Spider-Man 1? City Skylines? Maybe. It does look like the graphics are kind of bad for City Skylines, but it really looks like Manhattan. Spider-Man for the PS4? I think you're right. The question is, what was it called? Was it just Spider-Man? Marvel Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. Was it called Amazing Spider-Man? I can't remember. Is it Marvel's Spider-Man? Jesus Christ. They have so many versions of it. Nice. Good job. Although I guessed Spider-Man as well. That was my initial guess. But I wouldn't have been able to figure out which moniker. The answer was Spider-Man. Maybe they weren't being that specific. 87%. You can just kind of tell that it's New York instead of any other city. I guess just by the water. It's Electro! Ugh. Beat the shit out of people. One. Underrail. Loop Hero. I have not played Loop Hero. God, we have a lot of PC gamers playing Loop Hero. I remember there was a brief period in which like every streamer was just absolutely slamming Loop Hero, and I wasn't interested in the game, so I never watched anyone actually play it. But I guess a lot of people picked it up. Underrail mentioned. I've been thinking about playing Underrail for a while, but I'm just not much of a PC gamer. So Underrail, Fallout, there's a bunch of CRPG-esque games that I feel like I should play at some point, but... Is Loop Hero fun? Should I actually play it? The answer is I shouldn't play it because I should be working on my manga instead of playing video games, but I don't have time to play video games anymore. If you want that manga to ever come out, you shouldn't be asking me to be playing CRPGs. It's kinda mad, don't bother. I've heard the same thing about Underrail as well. If you're a fan of games like Slay the Spire or Darkest Dungeon, you'll be a fan of this one. I really like Slay the Spire. But you don't have to grind Slay the Spire. You can lose your run within the first 5 minutes and reset again and again, which is what I do. Will your manga have goblin sex? Maybe. It's not at all like Slay the Spire. They're just saying that because any difficult game, any indie difficult game, they're just going to be like, it's like Slay the Spire. Yeti Sports? I have no idea what this is. This looks like a drawn background. Worms? I don't think this is Worms. The graphics seem too good to be Worms. DK Tropical Freeze? I think that's a good guess. Looks like Worms? We have 2 people already saying Worms. I don't play Worms either, just like Lemmings. No, it's not even the Worms franchise. 83%. No, Ball should not play Loop Hero. Okay. People who just said Worms, Plap Plap Plap, and Leafy Toby, you guys are... You're fucking liars. I think it's that furry game, Peepo G. Oh, I think I might know what you're talking about. It's like a vague Metrovania with like a fox or a raccoon or something. I think I sort of know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called either. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was given to me, I think, as oh, Dust. Yeah, I think it is Dust. Yeah, it was given to me as a PS Plus game, and I played it for like 5 minutes, and I was just like, nah. Let's try Dust. It's like Dust, a something story or some shit like that. An Elysian Tale. Talk about fucking indie titles, right? You have like a very short word to begin with, and then colon, and then you give it like a fantasy semi, not whatever you call it, subtitle. Good guess. Furry Cyclops or something. Oh, tail, LOL. It's very funny then. Yeah, it's very furry, yes. Furries look at this object and they're like, I must have sex with it. He's not wearing pants or something. It's like the art style is a combination of Tumblr furry weebs plus how to draw manga help book. Like this character especially looks like it was drawn out of like the 90s how to draw manga tutorial help. This is a one-man project. I mean, at least the art style is consistent. I hated the combat system, just spammy. Yeah, it kind of felt a little loose. I wish Dust was on modern consoles. I think it was on the PS4, which means it's playable on PS5, I think. This is unsupervised furry shit. When you leave the furries alone, they create a furry video game. All I'm saying is that if intelligent anthropomorphic fox squirrels with huge tits were real, I'd probably want to have sex with one. That's not saying much though. It's very easy to convince men to have sex with pretty much any kind of vaguely female-shaped object, so... No. Guitar Hero? What the fuck? Is this a music game? I can't tell if this is shitty graphics or a close-up. I mean, it looks like Guitar Hero. You have subwoofers here. Ukulele Villain. Let's try Guitar Hero. Yeah, easy. They shouldn't have included the musical apparatus here. That made it a little too easy. Star power ready. I'm so bad at music. It's kind of sad. I can't even play on medium difficulties. I didn't understand that they would start adding more chords once you go up from easy. I'm like, oh no, I'm so bad at this. It was crazy because Guitar Hero really came out at the time when I was in college. So everybody had their fucking Guitar Hero set up. We would just play Guitar Hero and drink on Fridays and Saturdays and shit. That was the only thing there was to do. Talk about genres that just completely collapsed after being like extremely popular. Okay. This looks like an N64 game. And that's all I can say. Pilot Wings. I don't know. A Guitar Hero every year. What could go wrong? Fuck Activision. After college, I got a strong desire to replay Guitar Hero and stuff. And I went to GameStop and I was like, I need to buy a Guitar Hero controller and a Guitar Hero. And they're like, there are no controllers on the market. The entire market has crashed and nobody is reselling their controllers, and they're just like hidden in someone's attic. So you can't just buy them. And I guess I could have bought one on eBay or something, but that just killed my motivation to play it. I was like, that's okay. PS2 action game, methinks. I don't know, man. You think it's like Jack? Tak and the Power of Juju? You're seeming awfully confident for so little information. I feel like it would be a more famous game considering how little information they're giving us. Mystical Ninja Goemon? I think Mystical Ninja Goemon was way more brighter than this. I'll let Sadistic Aphid have his Tak and the Power of Juju Staff of Dreams shit. Of course it isn't. You're full of shit. What the fuck is this? 88%. This is definitely an N64 game. Is this Star Fox? Did Star Fox have this shit? It is Star Fox. Okay. Yeah, when you get a shot like this, where they give you very little information, it means that it's a super famous game, because if they show you too much, you're immediately gonna guess this. Is usually what happens. Can you play the N64 Mystical Ninja game sometime? I did play it back in the day on the N64 in my childhood. I really enjoyed Mystical Ninja Goemon. You don't need to ask me to play it. I played the shit out of that game. Yeah. Giving it away at 3 pretty hard right there. Slippy! Fox! Help! Oh no, Slippy's dead! Oh no. Trust your instincts. Star Fox. I'm gonna kill you real good. Oh man, I'm gonna have to jack off. Yeah, which one of Star Fox's teammates said that? The guy who guessed Tak and the Power of Juju is in shambles right now, living a lie. That went against the usual pattern of, if you have a photo like this, it's not gonna be some minor game. And then 88%, yeah, it's gonna be a pretty famous game. What the fuck is this? Final Fantasy 14? Falco, but the original says back off. Still funny image though. Oh man, I'm gonna have to jack off. Yeah, you're right. I remember that. Because you keep on replaying Star Fox 64, so you remember all the lines eventually. So we have some sort of elven village right here. Yggdrasil. Star Wars. Ooh, it might be Star Wars. I'm not sure if it is, though. Xenoblade. I do feel like this is a Japanese game. It does feel JRPG-ish. I have not played any of the Xenoblade games, so if you think it's Xenoblade. Also, the blurriness feels like a Wii game. I think you're right. Easy. Easy! The combined wisdom of this chat is very strong. We can one-shot this stuff left and right. Yeah. The game looks great for the Wii, though. I know. It has that very distinctive, shitty Wii, very low quality textures, low quality graphic power, and we're going to have to overcome it with good art direction feel to it, you know? You can kind of feel it. Good job. Okay. This is making me feel sick. This is blurry as fuck. Did you hear that Castle Crashers is getting a new DLC? What, on Xbox 360? What the fuck is this? I don't know. Indigo Prophecy. Guess anyone? It's letting you make art assets to load into your game as your own character? Cool. Is this Metal Gear Solid 2? I don't think so. I'd say definitely not. I don't know. I have never played Indigo Prophecy, but it's raining. And if there's one thing I know about David Cage is that he loves raining shit. %? What the fuck? What game that looks like this has 97%? That's like the highest percentage I've ever seen. Could it be Perfect Dark? That's a good guess. Yeah, I think Perfect Dark. I mean, I can't think of anything else that would look like this that has 97% besides Perfect Dark. Right? You guys are all guessing like PS2 games. This is definitely N64. Come on, man. Nothing has this level of blurry dog shit textures if it's not an N64 game. It has to be Perfect Dark. Nothing would score this high and have this shitty ass textures besides Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark. Yeah, there we go. Man, it looked... N64 graphics were just such ass. Like, they've aged so bad. They looked bad even at the time. That's the thing. There's, like, PS1 games that look good if you play them on a CRT TV. But even at the time, even the best-looking N64 game looked like absolute dog shit. Especially when you got close to people's faces and stuff. Please don't hurt me. Oh, you're gonna get hurt. Please, Joanna, don't fuck my ass. Haha, that would be so horrible. Please don't peg my asshole. Whoa. Textures, boobs. I'm gonna come. Mario 64 is the only one that managed to look okay today? Yeah. Graphics don't matter. They do matter when they start to interfere with your enjoyment of the game. Big head mode, LMAO. Gone Home. Is this Gone Home, guys? What is this? What else has a stupid scrapbook with a photo of a bunch of trees or some shit? Has anyone here actually played Gone Home? Is this Myst? Did Myst have graphics like this? I don't know about Myst. Like a Myst remake or something? Or Ribbon? I feel like if it was Myst, other people would be showing up in chat saying it's Myst. Okay, I'll give you Myst. It might be a different version, a similar game, but okay, you got it. Shows you how ahead of the time the graphics were, because it looks like a game from 2024 if you're just looking at this one shot. Yeah, it's Myst. Okay, I mean, if I saw this, I probably would have been able to guess Myst. This is definitely... I remember this. I remember trying to play Myst on... because it was installed on other people's computers and not being able to solve a single fucking puzzle. Let's be honest. This type of adventure gameplay sucks balls. It's so bad. It's like, oh, let's go to this one really pretty shot of this, you know, this thing. And you have to do like some extremely specific shit. And it's completely impossible to guess. Holy shit. What the fuck? Please stop. Walkabout Mini Golf did a Myst collaboration course and it's fucking amazing. I'm sure that's true. Where the fuck do I go the game? There were so many games like that besides Myst. Myst was just the most infamous one, but I can't believe that was a popular genre back then. People were actually like, I have no idea how to do the next thing. And I'm just gonna go to different locations and none of the puzzles make any fucking sense and I'm fucking stuck. Because you know what? Back in 1993, if you saw just fucking computer graphics like this, that alone was enough to entertain you because you're like, oh my god, it's so real. It looks just like real life. I can't believe how realistic this is. Whoa, I'm just gonna walk around this island and not solve any puzzles because I can't fucking understand what's going on at all. Good job. You guessed it with just this. I guess this is your scrapbook where you put the hints and shit, I guess. Back in 1993 on my 486 with 16 megs of RAM and Windows 3.1. I know, right? What the fuck? Project Zomboid? Toaster in a bathtub. Is this like a TRPG for assassinating people? Unpacking? Are you serious? Wasn't that the game that there was a bunch of female speedrunners trying to do unpacking? And they were like an hour longer than the world record or some shit? We have multiple people saying unpacking. The ultimate female experience, putting away stuff. Holy fuck, okay. Yeah, I don't want to play indie games, guys. For real. Female speedrunner, that's the joke? Yeah, they were... It was like one of those female speedrunner... like AGDQ except for females only. And then like the joke was there's nothing women love more than, you know, putting shit in boxes and taking shit out of boxes, and yet they were still really bad at the game or some shit like that. I can't remember. I want to say Majora's Mask, but it doesn't have the eyeball on it. Also, it's not N64. This is like PS2. Oh, is this black and white? Yeah, it does kind of look like PC graphics now I think about it. Black and White was one of those games that, as someone who didn't have a gaming PC, I really, really wanted to play it. Texture says black and white. It was always one of those games that looked amazing for someone who only had like an N64 or something. Black, white. Black and white. Easy. Good job. GG, easy. Back in the day, 90%. Whoa. Giant cow monster eating your villagers. Whoa. The game sucked so much, training your creature with such random garbage. It was one of those games where, as someone who didn't actually get to play it, it looked amazing. The concept looked amazing. The graphics looked great for 2001. It's like, holy shit, I get to be a god. And I get to, like, feed my villagers to a fucking giant cow. That's the coolest idea ever. But it probably wasn't as fun as it actually was. Molyneux is full of shit. Yes, it really do be like that. Okay, we're gonna quit after this one. We have a bunch of leaves. Bunch of leaves on the ground. This is probably a pretty famous game. Life is Strange is a good guess. Pretty iconic game, because if they show you more information, you're gonna be able to guess it. I wish I could have seen Fable with infinite budget. It didn't. It doesn't matter if you gave Molyneux a infinite budget and infinite amount of time. He'd still make video games that were half finished. At the end of the day, he's an ideas guy. He's not a guy who's capable of like executing shit. I'm gonna try Life is Strange. I think that's a good guess. No. Blue Oyster Club. 54%. Holy shit. This is like the lowest score I've seen. If Perfect Dark was the highest at 97%, 54% is like the lowest shit I've seen. It must be a truly dog shit, like indie walking simulator or something. I don't know. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, the disappearance of Edith Finch or something. The Order 1886. I don't think The Order would get to 54%. I played that game, and it wasn't that bad. Lesbian Walking Sim is what I think it is, right? That game is dark. Order 1886 graphics look incredibly good. They don't look like this. They also have a black bar everywhere. I thought people didn't like the Order because it was so short. Yeah, it's short. It looks amazing. Its gameplay is ho-hum. The Order has much better graphics. It's a graphics benchmark game. The Order's graphics still look better than most PS5 games, and it was like the first game that came out on the PS4. It's Redfall? Oh, you're right. It probably is Redfall. Autumn. Some sort of like East Coast town. 54%. I think you're right. Let's try Redfall. Holy shit, you got it. Yeah, what else would be 54% in this day and age? What a fucking joke of... Here's the purple. The iconic purple lighting of the 2020s. Everything has to be purple and pink. PC, Xbox Series, 54%. Man, they are truly getting bombed. Action shooter. Yeah, it's all very sad, isn't it? On the other hand, now I get to play all these Xbox games on my PlayStation 5. However, the problem is that there's no games I actually want to play. It's like I'm supposed to care about Ori and the Blind Forest and be happy that it's on PlayStation now, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't even look like a modern game. I don't know what the fuck this game is, right? To get below 60, you have to be a game that was both horrible and from a well-liked studio. Yeah. If it's just like a no-name studio that nobody was looking forward to, no one's going to buy it, so they aren't going to put in the 54% game review, so... You don't get it. It's stylized and has a roadmap. Buy the Battle Pass booster. I mean, I kind of like the core concept, right? It's like the setting. The setting is all like Stephen King, East Coast, Boston town, like spooky shit, except you solve it by shooting stuff. Like, I think the core idea behind Arcane's was like it was like a good idea. However, you know, one more. What the fuck? Okay, definitely an indie, or maybe not an indie. Old game, modern setting, trees, car, woods. I'm guessing this is just an indie game that I've never heard of, or never seen or played. Harvester? Isn't Harvester like Ultra Gore or something? Looks like a summer camp. This is a game from the 90s. Harvester is a good guess. It's not Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney has way more bright colors than this. Let's try Harvester. Wasn't Harvester like a horror game? This has strong horror vibes. I like the Harvester guess. Let's try it. No. Oh, it is Ace Attorney. Whoever said Ace Attorney, you're right. It's Ace Attorney. I specifically remember this murder. This is the movie studio. Yep. Good guess. DS era art. This is the movie studio murder. What is this? I don't know what this is. What the fuck is this thing? Is this the murder weapon? One more, fine. It's a statue that... Was this a statue that was used to kill a big titty lawyer lady? No, think about the boobs. Not the boobs. This is where you have to show your badge. I mean, this is pretty much a giveaway considering this shows up in every single game. Objection! Do it. Do the objection. Oh, they don't have the video version. Objection! They should have never killed Big Titty Lady in the first murder mystery. How can I live with myself if there's no big titties? I guess you still get the titties because of Maya grows boobs. What the fuck? I don't even know what I'm looking at. This looks like some PS2 shit right here. Jack and Daxter. Sly Cooper. It feels like one of those, right? Sly Cooper. Ratchet and Clank. Jack and Daxter. I thought Sly Cooper's graphics were a little more stylized than this, though. Didn't Sly Cooper have dark shadows and stuff? We can try Sly Cooper, but I don't think it is Sly Cooper. It feels wrong. We had Sly Cooper recently. It could be a Sly Cooper 2. I don't know. Huh. These lines right here feel like you're looking out from a helmet or something. I don't know. Rogue Galaxy. I'm gonna try Rogue Galaxy. %. Well liked. We have multiple people say it's Sly 2. Let's try Sly 2 then. Okay. It's Thieves in Time, right? Is the second one? No. It is Sly Cooper, though. But I thought we just guessed the Thievius Raccoonus. So I guess it's the Sly Cooper again. If it's yellow, it has to be it. What? What the fuck? It is a Sly Cooper game. Thieves in Time is the fourth. Well, we're running out of Sly Cooper games to... Oh, is it just called Sly 2? Well, that's annoying. Oh, Band of Thieves, okay. Alright, all the people who were guessing Sly 2 initially did a good job. We had multiple people early on that were saying Sly 2, actually, so... They made 4 Sly Cooper games. It's stealth. People like their stealth games, I guess. Weren't they all very good games? I don't know. As soon as I see furry art, I'm just like, I'm out. So, I never played any of them. Just this hippo beating the shit out of things right here. Alright, we can do one more. Resident Evil? Silent Hill? This definitely looks like Silent Hill or some sort of horror game. The question is whether it's 1 or 2. First one, probably. We can try first one. Easy. As soon as you see horribly rusted, dirty objects, you immediately know it's, yeah. And foggy shit. You know it's Silent Hill. Show the Bubblehead Nurse. I guess that's Silent Hill 2. Alright, guys. That is fun as usual. See you around. I hope you have a nice